La 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 la. All right, good enough. Jim says, "See you later, alligator. Dice-O-Rama. Mine's a 3. Have a good time. A lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. It's a thirsty Thursday. Have a drink on me." Hey, what's that? Don Lovejoy. Howdy, Don Lovejoy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Fun times, fun times. Better kick a cough drop into action. We'll officially go live here in a little less than 3 minutos. Let's see. So we're going to talk about some of the updates on the new Magic rules today. Progress is moving along. Doing a lot of updates, a lot of tweaks. But you know, it gets closer and closer to what I'm liking. So when we get there, we'll get there. There is no like, I'm not professional enough to give myself a deadline. Instead, I prefer to work on it until I'm happy with it, and then we release it. Really shouldn't be talking about this right now since we got a couple more minutes to go here, and then we'll I don't know why I don't have a Bessy. Hey, Damian Larson's here. The Spanish video again. Hello, hello. Let's see. I wanted to double check and see when the pre-order is officially ended for. Let's see. Let's see. February 2nd. Yep. Okay. Let's see. I have a little less than uno minuto. Thank you, Bri G. Thank you, Charlie Stout. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. I think it's DW this Sunday. Is it DW Low that's playing this Sunday? I'll have to double check on that.
Oh, you want to call my box? I'll call my box. That paper box.
Oh, it's okay. We don't need it right now.
I'm going to have to set that on the floor over there.
Keep walking. All right, you're going to stand right here. There you go. Good evening. Ooh, thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
I guess I have that one.
Have a drink on me.
Have a drink on me.
Well, I guess we started. 8 o'clock. Hey, everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp, and I am with the world's most dangerous Bessy. Pew, 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 pew. So, just real quickly, if you haven't already, make sure you get your pre-order in for our lovely new family card game
It
called...
belongs to the museum. Is that it?
Yeah. It was scary.
It belongs in a museum.
We've been having a lot of fun with it, playing with the family. It's a nice, simple, fun, easy to play card game that you can play with kids as young as 6 or 7. And we have fun with it as well. It's a ball to play. The games last about 10 minutes or so, less than 10 minutes. And we're still having a ball with it. So I'm sure we'll get tired of it eventually, but it's a fun one to do when you have little family get-togethers and stuff like that. It's a fun game to just
Quick and
pull out
easy.
and play. Yep. So if you haven't already, be sure to get your pre-order in before February 2nd, which is still a couple weeks away or
February
something.
2nd
Uh-huh.
is next week.
It's next week?
Next week.
Okay.
Friday, I believe.
So,
So
February
not a couple weeks
2nd,
away.
less than that. So, get your pre-order in before February 2nd and you get the pre-order discount. So a big thank you to everybody that's already pre-ordered. We really, really do appreciate that. It helps us keep the lights on around this place.
Hey, look, the lights are on.
The lights are, in fact, on. So, working hard, spent this week really trying to focus in on the magic rules, the
Magic.
spell casting rules. So we've been working hard on that. Trying to thin down the list. We had written about 20 to 25 more spells than we actually needed. But that means we'll use those for other stuff. For the initial deck, it's going to have about 30 different spells in it, but it'll also include things like cards for the new arcane abilities, cards for arcane assets. It'll also include the basic mishaps, spell mishaps. Those are a lot of fun. So the basic deck is going to have a lot of stuff in it. And then if we expand on it, and right now we're already planning to expand on it a little bit, I'd like to do a summoners pack, which will be really focused towards if you want a character that can summon various types of creatures and phantasmal servants and stuff like that.
Sure. Phantasmal beast.
Yep. And then when we do that, we'll also probably add in a extra asset or two, an extra mishap or two, so there's some extra stuff going on as well. But the new magic rules are really, really cool. I guess nearly all of them are variable in that the strength of the spell is based on the number of successes that you roll. I can only think of maybe 2 that aren't that way. For example, there's one called Obscura. And what it is, it's an ephemeral spell, so it's not really an enchantment, but it lets you target a number of friendly characters, including the caster themselves, equal to the power of your spell. So the more oomph you get into your spell, then the more people that you can target. And there are a bunch of spells that are similar to that, where it's the number of people or the number of targets that you may select is based off of how much power you have to put into the spell. Obscura basically just instantly puts all of those characters into hiding. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, it has its use in certain types of in certain types of scenarios. It's not one that you're going to want to use all the time, but I felt like there were enough magic spells in the deck that we could kind of do some things like that. Dawn Lovejoy. So the Kickstarter will be based on when you are comfortable with the product rather than target date. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Really do not have a target date. As I said before, I'm not really professional enough to set myself a deadline. So instead, we will work on it until we are happy with it. And oftentimes that means I'm as surprised as anybody else, because frequently I'll sit down and pull up the file and start going through everything and looking for things that I think I could do a little bit better. Every once in a while on a project like this, I like to take a week away from it where I simply don't, that I stop working on it for a week, because when I go back to working on it, then I can look at it with fresh eyes again and really be objective about what I'm looking at again.
Yeah.
So, but this week I got an awful lot done on it. Things like, oh, there are going to be spells that will affect enchantments. There will be spells that affect, your own enchantments or the enemy's enchantments. There will be spells to cause damage to the enemy. There's Fragor. Of course, we've play tested that one quite a bit, where it's capable of hitting multiple enemies around you. So been fine tuning all of that stuff and looking at each individual spell and making sure that we want it to be as useful as it can be without making them overpowered as well. So there's a lot of fine tuning that we have to do in there. We have some spells that let you move friendly characters. We have spells that let you move enemy characters. So that's a lot of fun. Healing spells, attack spells, buffs. So you have spells that can make your characters stronger in certain things. You have spells, a lot of spells that can be used to hamper or weaken the opponent too, rather than outright damaging them, where you can hinder their abilities. You can cause them to have to draw a horror card when they activate, and yada yada, stuff like that. Really cool. Having a lot of fun with them. There's a duel spell where you duel them, where you can basically challenge an enemy spellcaster to a duel, and one of you quite likely is going to get injured in that fight. Not just take a hit, but actually injured.
Right.
There are a couple spells that mimic abilities just because I felt like I wanted those in there. So there's a flying spell if you really want to make yourself the caster or one of your friends give them flight, then that's going to be an option in there. There's one that's very similar to armored, but it doesn't have the movement limitation. So that's interesting. It's still balanced with the armor ability because one, if I remember right, I think it might even be a full action. So you can't move and cast it. You'd only pick yourself or a friend up to 12 inches, but that means you're not moving at all during that. And then, you can cast it on a friend, so you're using an action and then they can run around. And then, of course, the enemy always has an opportunity to try and knock it down. They could try and do that. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting also is the balance of spells and the balance of dispel type abilities. So how frequently are people going to want to take dispel abilities? If you know the opponent doesn't have a spellcaster, then it seems kind of silly to take any
Right.
discard
Yeah, for sure.
abilities. And then so one of the things I think that we're still trying to fine tune also is the idea about, when you select your spells for a character, are you locked in to just those spells? Or do you have a spell book of multiple spells that in between scenarios you can pick and choose from? Or can you simply pick from any of the spells that are available? Every scenario you can pick, you could change, and based on, once you know what the scenario is, you could pick spells that are tailor-made just for that spell, or sorry, just for that scenario. So I'd like some feedback on that, and we'll try and do it right now. So I want to show you the really, really cool setup that we're going to have for this Sunday's game also, and talk a little bit about that. So right now, if you think, should a character be limited simply to the spells that they take to begin with? So once you take the spells, you pick the spells that you want that character to have, you can't get any more spells until you either pick up assets or, later on. So that's, if you think that's your option, type in a 1 right now into the chat. If you think that you should be able to have a spell book of spells, maybe, 3, 4, 5 extra spells that you could pick from each scenario, type a 2 into the chat. And if you think your spellcaster should just have access to all of the available spells, type a 3 in right now, and give me some feedback on how you think the spells should work. We're also planning to do a for the 2-2, okay? 1, having to learn new spells is the way to go. Bloodshot movies. Thank you so much, sir. Lots of 2s in there. Thank you guys for that. So that's kind of thinking that you have a spell book. Basically, what we were thinking is that your spell book would have twice as many spells as your starting number. Now, this would really only apply, think about this also, this would really only apply if you're playing a campaign. So if you're keeping track of your league from one scenario to the next, that's the only time something like this would really matter.
Right.
Vern Jeske, thank you so much, Chad. Are the casters supposed to be? See, now, Chad, that's where we don't determine that for you. That's something that you determine. Pulp Alley is really big about players making choices. So there will be setting rules that,
Taking a potty break.
okay, there will be setting rules that you could kind of fine tune the magic rules to the type of setting that you want. So if you want to do like a Harry Potter sort of setting, then maybe there will be rules that kind of mimic that sort of idea. If you want to do a D&D setting, then maybe there will be rules for that. If you want to do a setting that's more along the lines of a H.P. Lovecraft, a Call of Cthulhu sort of magic, then there will be some setting rules where you can kind of fine tune the magic to that as well. So even if you wanted to use the magic to represent psionics or psychic powers or even weird technological effects, right? We all understand that to most people, magic is just one step away from technology. So you could do that as well. Or you could do it as mutant abilities. So be sure and get a number in there for me, and we'll have to scroll back through and check all those numbers. 1, if you think you should be locked into the spells that you pick, and the only way you get new spells is by, experience or something like that. 2 is the spell book idea, so you have a reserve of extra spells that you can pick from, so you have maybe twice as many spells as you would start with, but those are in your spell book, and you only get to use half of your spells per scenario, basically. Or do you just get to pick from all 30 or 45 spells, every game? So let me know. What's head to head mean, W? What's that, D Dub? What's that head to head? I'm trying to start a fight. What are we talking about anyway? We're talking about magic. We're talking about spells and whatnot. Oh, there's Frank. The book lets you balance for spell combos while players would have to get strategize what they bring to the game. Yep. Yep. Oh, you want Max? You want to show him? You want to show him your box?
Okay.
Okay. Let him put the box over there, Mama. Put it box over there by those robots. So here's a box that was made by
Sally Forth.
Sally Forth. I don't know if they still have these available or not, but this was a long time ago. And Max painted this up for me. How awesome is that? Him and Mama worked on this, and it's got a little drawer down here at the bottom. It's got dividers up here, so there's a lot of cool things about this box. I don't know if they still do this or not.
And I don't show what the most things that I should take out.
Okay. All right. All right. What else? He has other stuff he needs to show you guys.
So it's hot. I meant to have this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You could keep that kind of stuff in there too, huh? Yeah.
What is that?
It's wheels for a train.
Yeah,
Train wheels.
This was meant to be Philip's wheel.
Oh, okay. All right.
I put my little drawer here.
All right. I want to show everybody the setup for this Sunday while we have this going. So check out the lovely robots. We have scenario number 3 out of the China Station book. Is it 3?
3 or 4? No,
Big Trouble.
4. Yeah.
It's scenario number 4. It's Big Trouble. So now the gloves are coming off, and there is nothing at all to stop the 2 leagues. We'll have our Federation League and our Klingon League going head to head, except they will also have some robots out there trying to fight
Or
both.
robots if you live in
Robots?
they're not called robots.
They're called robots. I believe that's the correct pronunciation.
You're wrong.
What? Okay. All right. And then I was looking at the table and I was looking at the scenario and I thought, you know what? Why change it? So I have basically left the table the exact same as last Sunday because I liked the table anyway. I thought it looked really cool. And I've been way too busy working on the magic rules to fuss with it. So I figured, you know what? It's pretty rare that I use the same table 2 days in a row or
If
2
it's good
games in a
once,
row.
It'll be good twice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the table is remaining the same. They will deploy in corners, and I'm thinking that we might use those corners over there along the water. Basically, the story is that the collectors, that's what we're calling the robots, as they come in to collect Amazons. What the robots will be doing is trying to take the people out of the village. So that's what the robots will be moving into contact with the various villagers, and then after a robot moves into contact, it will try to carry it off the table. So that's what the robots will be doing. And what we'll be trying to do is save the people while killing the robots and fighting each other as well. So, D-Dub is...
No, he played last week, dude.
Oh, who's... Sean Peck.
I think it's Sean Peck, yeah.
Oh, it's Sean Peck. David Lowe played last week?
Yeah.
Is my memory that bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Daddy,
Yeah, bub.
I showed them mine.
Showed them your what?
Joe.
Oh, your train?
Who's that?
So this is my friend
You worked on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's mine. So I worked on it a long time ago.
Okay.
So I should put it in a box and I just hide it so nobody can see it.
Oh, you keep it hidden.
And also it came with a lot of tripods and a lot of track. And and also I have
Is that new?
yes.
What? Where do you get that one?
Oh wait, no, it's just for me. I just built it. So
You just built that one? You put it? You mean you put it back together? Does the top come off?
No, that one's.
That one hasn't.
That's the heavy duty bomb.
Okay, that's not the one that's been
and
tore
also,
apart.
when I drop it, then you will see it's inside.
Okay, we don't want to drop it. Yeah, we don't want to drop it.
Oops.
Yeah, let's try not to drop it anyway.
Not see the
Anywho, Sean Peck this Sunday.
Yep.
Robots out there saving the people. The collectors will be out there trying to carry off the villagers. If you were one of the playtesters that we sent some of the playtest spells to, then we would like to invite some of you to participate in a live maybe Zoom meeting where we could just talk about the spells, and if you have any feedback, talk about what observations y'all have and things like that. So if you're up for that, let me know. I guess that's it. All right. You want to tell them all bye?
Bye.
Oh, don't forget to tell them to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Say it again.
Like and subscribe.
All right, buddy. Bye, everybody. Bessy, play us out of here.
I need to
All right, tell him.
So,
Look at me.
one thing, make sure if you find a place.
This is the camera you look at.
So, if you guys find a place where there are bombs, make sure to get one. Now, like and subscribe.
Good job.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
next time.